we typically, as gentlemen, are leaders in our work. We're producing good work for the contribution of the greater whole. But then there can be a tendency for some that once they get to the home, they become more consumers, as to just sit on the couch. If you are a leader in the workplace, you should also be a leader in the home, especially since raising young children, we are in kind of in that development phase.
I think the key word that you said that I prefer to think of it as is not going from producer to consumer, but from living a life of service in the world and also coming home and continuing to serve, right?
Yeah.
Because you could do great things, but unless you do them at home, it's not going to have any meaningful influence on your children.
It could be just these small things in which we demonstrate leadership. It could be, Dad, I'm really having a hard time with this particular math assignment. Can you take a couple minutes to kind of explain this to me?
Our pastor at our parish had a good sermon on this once, which was, you slave away all day at work, and when you come home, you take up your cross again.
Welcome to the Ordered Life Podcast. A little while back, AJ, you got us our tumblers. The Ordered Life and Serve 'em capital mugs.
Yeah. Those are fire, by the way.
They're awesome.
My kids use it all the time. I never get a chance to use it anymore.
Yeah. See, so I use it all the time as well, but every now and again I forget it.
Oh.
And my mom finds it hilarious whenever she sees a filled up coffee mug with the Ordered Life forgotten, because she's like, well, the son of mine's life obviously is not all that ordered. It's happened 2 or 3 times in the past month.
It's an aspirational title.
Yeah. So that was my Ordered Life tumbler thing that I've been wanting to say for a little while here.
Look, if you have to have a disordered coffee life so that you can have an ordered the rest of your life, that's a good balance.
Yeah, and the
It's a
Ordered
good
Life
trade-off.
it's not about being perfect. It's about striving for perfection.
There you go.
Yeah. As John Paul II says, holiness is not about being perfect. It's about striving for what is best and getting up when you fall. So there you go. Yeah, picking up your coffee mug after it's cold.
How about you? Do you have any coffee mug stories, Sean? Are the kids fighting for it, or
no, the kids don't fight for it. We're going through a hot chocolate kick at the house right now.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So
tell me about the hot chocolate routine. Like how deeply entrenched into this hot chocolate are you?
Well, they just fight over who gets to make it.
Okay.
And it's simple, just stirring powder into milk on a pot on the stove, because we are now living a microwave-free life. So everything's got to get heated up on the oven or the stove. And so yesterday, the 3-year-old, he put on we've got a apron, like a cooking apron. And he was so excited to do something. So it's like, you can make hot chocolate. Yeah, stirring it away and whatever. But there's this candy company out of Colorado called Hammond's. You ever heard of it?
No.
They make the best candy canes. So every year we do a big order of just candy canes. And they're so good. Like we first got them at a local grocery store, and then they didn't carry them anymore. So we had to go to the source.
Oh, nice.
And
what makes these candy canes different than the normal candy cane experience?
I don't know why. They're so much better. But like, they're really big. They're somehow very colorful without food dyes, so I'm suspicious of that. However, they're just the flavors are just so good. I don't know why. They it's not like a hyper sweet extra candy peppermint flavor. Like, there's a cherry version and there's a strawberry version, or a normal version. But it's like a rich, deep flavor to these candy canes, and this is just going to be an advertisement for Hammond's, because everything they make.
And then be a sponsor.
Yeah, and so they also have this hot chocolate mix, which is a candy cane hot chocolate. And so it's a mint hot chocolate.
I do like it.
And it's so good. Like, it's just...
Would you ever get the regular hot chocolate and just get the candy cane and use it as the stir stick, and you can have a 2-in-1 that way?
That would work. Did I tell you guys about the incident we had with peppermint oil?
No.
Yes, I heard about this. Yeah.
Refresh my memory, because I've forgotten.
Well, I know I heard about this the week after you left.
Oh, okay.
The 15-month-old toddler at home, because we moved and we're unpacking and things get left out on their way to somewhere else. And these little vials of essential oils were en route to go to wherever they're supposed to go. were left on the table. The 15-month-old climbed on the table,
Okay.
grabbed a bottle of peppermint oil, opened the bottle, and then proceeded to try to drink the bottle.
Okay.
And if you know anything about the spicy taste from toothpaste, peppermint is extremely painful if you have it directly in the essential oil. So yeah, burning sensation on the skin,
Okay.
on the mouth. So he was in tears, screaming in pain.
Right.
We get poison control on the phone.
Just in case.
And if you have enough of it, if a baby has enough of it, it can be very serious.
Wow.
And the symptoms are drowsiness, sleepiness. They could have not coma, but what's the one where they shake?
Seizure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And so this happened at 8:30 at night. And the poison control says you have to keep him up for the next 2 hours and watch for these symptoms.
Right.
Like, drowsiness at 8:30 at night for a 15-month-old.
Kind of common. Hard to distinguish.
Yeah. So eventually, so he diluted it. So we gave him, he was happy to take a bunch of ice cream. And it probably just the cooling probably helped as well. I was holding him. And the oil went from him onto my arm just a little bit. And I found it very uncomfortable. And so I can't imagine what he was like. And so we have no idea how much he actually drank. The little bottle was still quite full afterwards, but
Okay.
so he was screaming in
be
pain and crying. Yeah.
Cautious.
But then the kids had the task of keeping him, engaged and awake for the next 2 hours. And they were great. They had these, they were, organized all sorts of games where they were running around and follow the leader and doing different things and dancing, and everybody was in on it just to keep the 15-month-old engaged and awake and not falling asleep. And so ended up nothing happened. He was fine in the end, but there were some tense moments. And peppermint oil is a powerful thing. So
Probably better to limit to the candy canes then.
yeah. Keep it in the candy
Safer.
canes. Keep it in the Hammond's hot chocolate mix.
Yeah.
And but Hammond's, check it out. They're great.
Cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like a Christmas drink. It could be throughout the year if you order it directly.
Yeah, that's right. It can be any time.
Yeah.
And we had combined our Christmas order by also getting a bunch of Valentine's Day goodies at the same time. But so good. Just the best, candy and chocolate that we found. Yeah.
Nice.
Speaking of,
I was going to mention before you
Yeah.
just transition. I have 15 more mugs that are sitting
Nice.
at my front porch at present.
sweet.
So yeah, we have to figure out homes for those new mugs
Yeah.
to share in the joy of owning these perfectly small mugs.
It's funny.
Yeah. Speaking of the home, AJ, what are we going over today?
Okay. So for context, we participate and coordinate an opportunity with gentlemen who are entrepreneurs in our general area where we gather together on a monthly basis, originally under the context of what was supported as the Fishers Network, to help support a Christian Catholic economy and just create awareness of our respective professional contributions and work. And for us to gather together, not specifically for that purpose, but essentially an element of ongoing conversation and formation amongst us gentlemen. And so the commonality with the multitude of us is we are fathers, or in Anthony's case, aspiring fathers yet to come upon marriage. And a particular article came across in which is written by James Stenson, which is called A Father's Unity of Life. And in essence, in the article, it speaks of how we typically, as gentlemen, are leaders in our work. We're producing good work for the contribution of the greater whole. But then there can be a tendency for some that once they get to the home, they become more consumers, as to just sit on the couch and just live a life of recreation. And so the article argues that there should be a unity of that. If you are a leader in the workplace, you should also be a leader in the home, especially since raising young children, we are in kind of in that development phase. And so that we should contribute to make certain that they become good citizens, good productive individuals, and also in consideration that we work with our respective wives as a little bit like a management roster to make sure that things go well for the sake of the family. Is there anything else that I'm missing from that article that you'd like to
Yeah,
add?
I mean, I think it was less the management side of things and more the leadership qualities.
Yes, you're right.
That you have at work, to make sure that when you get home you don't switch off,
Right.
and that there absolutely is the place in the home, with kids, in relationship with your wife, how you can still be that person that excels and achieves and does great things in the workplace, and don't forget that there's still the opportunity to do those things and be that person at home.
How about you, Anthony?
Yeah, no, I to be honest, I didn't actually read the article. I just plugged into Notebook LM and had to listen to it. But a lot of the points that were brought up, I think, were kind of like a summary of a lot of things that I've been learning over the past couple months, especially as it relates to marriage. For listeners who don't know, I'm getting married at the end of the year on December 31st here. So my fiance and I just finished up marriage prep. And yeah, I've been listening to podcasts, reading books, and trying to figure out, what is it that I'm ideally fully being called to? Like, what do I need to understand about this vocation? And what are some of the challenges that typically come up for people? And so that whole idea of becoming a consumer at home when you're a producer at work really resonated with a podcast that I listened to on the Lila Rose show with a relationship expert, Adam Lane Smith, who works with like attachment styles and, again, like very high functioning individuals in society. And he made like this point, I think, when was this article written?
I'm not sure if it has the date on it.
Oh, no.
If you're looking for the date.
Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good.
He made this point that people today need to actually define good relationships, look for a like business partner more than they're looking for a relationship partner. Because just the way that people are seeing relationships these days is much more selfish as opposed to service, which from my understanding of the article, like in order to be a good leader, you have to be like a visionary. You have to think, hey, what's going to happen to this individual or this company, right? 10, 20 years down the line. Like that's what we're making decisions for today. You need to be at the service of others. And yeah, you have to like that strategy to get there. And so, yeah, I found this point very interesting from the Adam Lane Smith podcast that people, when looking for life partners, should really be trying to look for a business partner rather than someone who just makes them feel good, right? You want to have somebody who you want to achieve things with, who you're willing to serve. And then tagging off that idea is that, yeah, like the family unit is very much meant to run like a good business. And I actually think a good business is supposed to run like a family unit. We just understand a lot more about business than we understand about healthy families in today's society. And so I think kind of using that ideal of business in the family context is a bit of like the pendulum starting to swing back to, no, this is actually how families are supposed to run, in terms of like the man is meant to be this leader who, as the article points out, puts as much love as possible into his wife and supporting his wife. And that's like the first thing. That's what the kids at the end of the day have to see. And I like the idea that in the article, sometimes we can fall into the trap of robbing children of seeing us at our best if we just shut down at home. Like we have to have that unity of life to say, okay, I'm going to live all these virtues at work, and then I'm willing to live all these virtues all the more in the home. Because otherwise, like, are they really virtues, or are they just like traits that you can put on a resume? So
yeah. I think the key word that you said that I prefer to think of it as is not going from producer to consumer, but from living a life of service in the world and also coming home and continuing to serve, right?
Yeah.
Not
that
expecting
unity.
Yeah, and not expecting, okay, I slaved away at work and now I'm going to come home.
Yeah, I'm
and,
entitled to my rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And just continuing to maintain that perspective that this is still a place for you to give and to be of service to your family, to your wife, and all those things, and how crucial it is for your kids to see you doing that.
Yeah.
Because you could do great things, but unless you do them at home, it's not going to have any meaningful influence on your children.
Yeah.
And to that element of influence on our children not only learn from what we share with them, what we tell them, what we guide them, but also from our example too.
I mean, they probably learn more from your example than anything you tell them.
100%. So, I mean, if you tell them certain things and then dad is...
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah, and like dad's in front of the TV just watching the hockey game or the football game, and not tending and building relationships with a family. And to your earlier point, Anthony, is like it could be just these small things in which we demonstrate leadership. It could be, Dad, I'm really having a hard time with this particular math assignment. Can you take a couple minutes to kind of explain this to me? And being willing to drop everything, even though you're kind of in the state, I thought I'm gonna doom scroll for the next hour or watch the game. Hey, I'm choosing my attention going to you, child.
Yeah.
Because you're more important, and kind of communicating the importance of the family in circumstances like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our pastor at our parish had a good sermon on this once, which was, you slave away all day at work, and when you come home, you take up your cross again.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the time to kick back and relax. It's the time to, again, be at service. And this idea of getting home, and instead of throwing the jacket to the side and lounging, you take up the cross again,
right.
and you're back at it. And I think it's a good image that helps me keep up that ideal, keep up that unity of life. Right. I will say though, you could take all of these ideas too far as well. Yeah, like the management of a family as a business, right, could become very utilitarian.
Yeah,
it could be.
Right, you forget the personhood, and you begin to think about like producing, it could be like homework results or sports scores or like achievements, and forgetting that this is about the people.
I mean, you could even go like, all right, it's our annual business review.
Yeah.
We're going to set our 5-year goals.
Yeah.
I mean, it could get to that extent, which I mean would be good in terms of the element of being a high achiever.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's also a balance too as to like, hey, we're not a business, we're a family.
Mm-hmm.
And it.
So there are similarities, but there are also major distinctions too.
Yeah. But I think as well, like going back to Havard's definition of leadership, of pursuing greatness yourself by bringing out the greatness in others.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in the context of a business, as Havard says, like a business is about people. It's about putting them in positions to be successful and to bring out their best. And I think we can definitely see that today in, businesses where it's all about production, and in families where it's all about you have to be the way that I want you to be as a parent, which is, very bad for kids flourishing. But so I think maybe the point that you're making, and obviously I don't have children or a family, but I think
but you were a child at one point. And
the
example of your own parents.
Yeah, and I do have friends who have experienced this or not experienced this, but right. And I have friends of friends, especially who I can think of who I know are like, you're only doing that to please your mom. Like you're only actually in that relationship to please the idea that your mom has of you, which is just a terrible reason to have a relationship. But I think that when business focuses too much on results, like you're saying would be disordered too in a family, that's also disorder in the business. Mm-hmm. So it's not necessarily that like, that's how a business should be running. I think that's more of a disorder of the business.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think the Alex Havard point is a good one because it's, he makes a distinction between managing and leading.
Yeah.
They're not the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And, there's two paths you can take with leading being the head of a family or being the head of a business. You can be the micromanager, or you can try to be the leader, bringing out the virtue in others and making the people around you, bringing them to greatness. Yeah. And that's the path you should take in business, and that's the path you should take in family.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like the element of leadership within business, at least those that I've experienced and admired their leadership was a recognition of everyone's unique talents, everyone's unique strengths. And as some managers are more like, you're deficient in these ways and harp on you, I've always appreciated good leaders in which are like, okay, everyone is contributing in a particular way, where's everyone's strengths? And I think there's an opportunity for us to translate that within the family. Because our kids are still they're still very malleable, and they may not recognize their unique gifts and talents that are given to them by God. And a recognition as father and mother to basically say, hey, son or daughter, you're especially talented with this, like helping them recognize that and create a willingness in which they're trying to participate in that, in which to enhance the use of that particular gift. For example, some of my kids like sports. I think is a good way in which it's a school of virtue. to basically get up one more time in failure, to try again, to recognize this ongoing pursuit of being better, I think are all good attributes. What do you guys think of that in terms of leadership in the home?
I think a characteristic of a great leader is to lead by example. So when you are constantly trying to improve yourself, it teaches your kids to do that. When there are things that need to be done in the house, and you take the hardest job yourself, and then it helps your kids witness what it means to be someone who's driven by service, living out the virtues, and instead of nagging them and harping on them, which I don't know, it's hard not to do that too, but to lead by example, I think is a crucial aspect of that.
I like that example of leading from like doing the hardest thing that everyone wants to avoid, but as father, like, you know what, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think as an eldest child, and I know Kai feels the same, I definitely see how with parents that doing the hardest thing can go from legitimately doing the most difficult task that is the hardest to having the endurance to make sure the youngest or the younger cohort of children pull their weight. And I think that's something that, both kind of being eldest children have like seen in our own families of just like, like we both know if this thing needs to be done, then it needs to get done. But how for like the parents, the struggle that we've seen in our parents is the struggle is to continue to enforce those rules with the younger children, because there's certain things that like our siblings will do when they go other places, like it's fine, but just in the home, it's like why are we leaving dishes on the counter? It's like you had to go past the dishwasher to leave it on the counter, and now it's like somebody else's problem. And it's like, if I put this away, it's like, is that actually what's best for you, or is what's best for you like having the difficult conversation of saying like, you're a grown adult, or you're 19 years old. Can we put those into the dishwasher because you're living with other people? Right. Instead of, because so the difficult thing in that sense would be giving the person more responsibility as opposed to doing it yourself.
Because when you do it yourself, you're like, oh, I'm going to save myself from that difficult conversation. Yeah. As opposed to, hey, there's a learning opportunity in which to help this person, be more mindful of others that you're living with. Yeah. And to be a service to the family.
Actually, I heard a great line recently, which was, it could be that, like doing these simple tasks that people need to learn for personal responsibility. Yeah. But it could be other things. It could be school. It could be like other problem solving things. Like every time you do one of these things for your child, you are robbing something from them. You are taking something from them.
That's true too.
Because these things that we do, like encountering failure, doing difficult things, that's how we develop as humans and grow in virtue and skills and
we learn more from our mistakes.
Right, exactly. And so just that phrasing it that way is you think, oh, it's just easier if I do this, but like you are taking something from that child when you do that.
Yeah, I like how you use the word robbing them. You're robbing them from the opportunity in which for them to grow up because it's easier.
Yeah.
Well, it's also interesting just from a leadership perspective. It's like, do you want your CEO clean the toilets? Which I mean, like I actually quite enjoy cleaning bathrooms, but just this idea of, well, if the CEO is meant to be this visionary of what can this person do? How can we put this person in a position to be successful? Is it actually optimal to have them kind of taking these shortcuts of just like, oh, this thing has to be done, I just want to do it. Right? It comes, and even Havard talks about this, of this focus on doing rather than being. And the doing is just to get something done, and the being is to be great, to be virtuous. You don't do virtues, but you can do tasks. I think management is much more about doing tasks. Leadership is about bringing out the greatness, and greatness is a part of someone's being.
Yeah. The call out to seeing your potential wife as a business partner, I think is a good one.
Yeah.
Because we can over emotionalize a relationship and just think, does this person, do I feel good around this person or whatever? And those can be fleeting thoughts and emotions. But the framing it as a business relationship, I could see that being useful because you just approach the relationship from a different perspective. Right? Does this person have the traits that we're going to get along with over years instead of over the next however many months or whatever it is? Yeah, I hadn't thought of that. I haven't thought about it in that way before, but I think that's probably a good one.
Yeah.
Well, I think of you and Kai, you're building the foundation for your family. And so being well rooted together and having good foundation within your relationship, in the eventual welcoming of children into your family. It's to make certain that you guys are aligned in terms of your vision of who you want your children to be, and just kind of a mechanism in which how you'll facilitate, enrich that environment. I think will just create an opportunity to be consistent going forward, to see that through.
Yeah.
It's also a cool responsibility, a privilege, a blessing in which we get to raise children to this world. We get an opportunity to learn from our own experiences as being children ourselves, seeing the example of our parents, the things they did well, things perhaps that could have been done differently as well. But also for us, I guess in our awareness and in your particular case, coming with this mindset, this framework going into marriage, is, I think you are far more advantaged than I was at that time, being a dumb mid 20-year-old that's basically, hey, I just want to have a whole bunch of money, as a mindset where you're thinking a lot more maturely as to, the aspirations for your kids to come to the world, I think is cool.
Yeah.
I got nothing else.
I think we're good.
Yeah, no, that's a good comprehensive review. If anyone wants to read the article, it's called A Father's Unity of Life by James Stenson.
And also, if any gentlemen out in internet world want to learn more about the opportunity to get together as small business owners, entrepreneurs in the general Vancouver area, please reach out to us. info@serviumcapital.ca is perhaps the best way to get a hold of us. So.
And anyone interested in candy canes, go check out Hammond's. They're great.
I love it.
There we go. Brilliant. All right. Thank you for listening. I'm Anthony.
I'm Sean.
I'm AJ.
Have a great day.
This podcast has been prepared by Sean Gregory, who is a portfolio manager, AJ Stenson, and Anthony De Lazari, who are associate investment advisors for IA Private Wealth Inc. Opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the portfolio manager and investment advisors only and do not necessarily reflect those of IA Private Wealth Inc. IA Private Wealth Inc. is a member of the Canadian Investor Protection Fund and the Canadian Investment Regulatory Organization. IA Private Wealth is a trademark and business name under which IA Private Wealth Inc. operates.